Here we are off in drone phase. Now there's a few things that I want to point out before this round gets started. I'm solo queued in this round and I know these players don't communicate very well, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind in my playstyle, which means even if they drone people out, they see people, that's not going to be relayed back to me. So I need to be very smart and rely a little bit on luck and a little bit on my own skill and observant skills. And this is one area where I failed on. If you notice what just happened there with those two players, I was so concerned on watching that Caviera that I didn't really notice that bandit going into the strip club, or even if I did notice, I didn't pay much attention to it. This isn't a common area for multiple roamers, at least on like ranked games against full-on teams. So I was assuming maybe that Caviera would be roaming around, but most of them would be downstairs. So I kind of stopped and I see where the rest of my players are going. This seems to be pushing through the garage, where I don't want to just push randomly solo on the other end of the map, especially with the Caviera around, because that would be dangerous for the entire team. So I kind of want to stick somewhat close, covering the rest of my team's flanks, and I'm really worried about finding this Cav. So I'm going to take a quick peek around, and I know she comes down from that second floor, destroying my drone, but she's on the other end of the bar. So I'm going to take that time to be able to break in here, get a little bit of angle on this bar as I being very careful with slow peeks, only showing a little bit of the room at a time, trying to aim around head level until I'm able to find her. Finding her, I make a nice pre-fire, and there's something I really want to point out right here is you notice my bullets go right through this brick wall, and this is something I learned from Narcoleptic Nugget, that just because this wall is obviously indestructible, it doesn't mean on some of these door frames your bullets are still able to penetrate through. So keep that in mind in some of your ranked games. If you're going to pre-fire, you can pre-fire through a lot of these door frames, and that's really important, especially at high level gameplay. Well, it just comes down to a split second. Back into the game, I'm being a little bit cautious. Montaigne's a little bit far back. I'm still a little bit worried about another player, and boom, as you see there, that bandit came out of that strip club, and I wasn't even cautious enough about that, and I should have known that he was still there because I saw him full on run in there, but I got lucky. The second guy behind me, not so lucky. So moving on, catching my breath, pushing up a little bit, making a way to the kitchen. There still could be other roamers, but I can't waste too much time. Ash kept getting that kitchen floor, and I'm going to be pushing up with this Montaigne, having this nice tight angle on this biker room right here. Now, pushing up with Montaigne, he's much powerful to have that second player with me. He's not so strong on his own. So I'm trying to stick with him as much as I can, holding this. If he pushes into church a little bit, seeing if I can get anyone going around for a flank on him. Now, doing a little crouch breach, because it allows me to enter the room quicker. This is a spot where I thought I might find someone, get him by surprise a little bit if he's distracted by that Montaigne. Not too worried about that, because that's in perfect view of that kitchen hatch where that Ash is. Doing the same kind of crouch smash. Another thing I actually learned from the exact same Narcoleptic Nugget video. I'll have that down in the description below if you want to catch it. Now, only worried about what's left in here. Slowly peeking through the room, and then there's another incident that I want to point out to you guys. As you can see, I'm trying to clear it. Again, the same idea, only peeking into a little bit of the room as possible. We assume that this is where the rest of the players are. And I'm trying to hold that head level, and this is something right there. The bulkiness of my scope completely hid that Valkyrie till I was completely out in the open beside her. Now switching over to my shotgun because it'd be a close range round at that point before I was going to engage. But at that point, I was saved by that Ash up in the window up above, getting that nice clean headshot on. Now, one more thing I want to talk about before I end this video is talking about this Montaigne. Now, Montaigne is a very powerful player, especially now with the buff, but playing a Montaigne is you're seeing the room without being much threat, so you get to be a distraction as well as you get to relay information without worrying about getting killed from head on. And if you're not communicating with these players are, you're not being very useful. And there's a few things I want to point out. So you see the Montaigne going down that hallway. He should easily be able to hold that door, and you can hear some gunfight, and you can hear him drop his shield and pick it right back up there. And as I push into this room, I would assume that he would be right back there in the door, and you can stop the video and see that all of a sudden he decided to run around behind me. Not very useful. Whereas a Montaigne, he'd be able to just stand in that door full shielded without worrying about getting killed, and he could have relayed that information back to me, telling me where that enemy position was, and then we wouldn't have so much problems. That guy wouldn't have caught me by surprise as he hid in the blocky part of my reticles. Now with this clip, I want to talk a lot more about the attackers and their strategy, because when you notice my gameplay, that I play pretty recklessly and make a lot of mistakes. So this one will be guided around the attackers, what they could have done better. So starting us off is this Montaigne. This is a common spot for a great Montaigne push. Plant behind him, and it's a great strategy. And for me, really stupid, I wasted my C4. The Montaigne was smart to back off, but he didn't go full shielded because there's no way I can run out there anyway. So I did get a couple shots off into his feet. Now this is when the mistakes start happening. Twitch drone, they know I'm in there. They know I'm harassing, but as you can see, as I come around this corner, they smoke. And there's a few things wrong with this. One, they smoke, so I know that they're going to be planting soon. The audio is enough where I'll be able to tell when the plant goes down, so I'm not super worried about it yet, finishing off this Twitch drone. But that smoke placement is awful. Never smoke yourself. In this case, I can see this entire visual of this room, and it's safe for me to completely run up on them because they can't see me coming until it's too late. There's no way that Montaigne could have warned that poor Capitao that I was coming for that push. They should have thrown the smoke deep into the room, forcing me to run blindly through it towards them. Now, just a couple tips on what they definitely could have done better, because up until that second, we had 4 players, and it was 2 minutes and 40 seconds in the round. Really early on, and definitely a forced push. Well, if they took a little extra time, they could have easily taken over this bomb site. And in doing that, with those bombs going off below, you can see that they had the upper floor too. So my suggestion with them is hold the upper floor, hold that door with Capitao and Montaigne, then take another player and position him in this other outside door right here. He'll be able to sit back outside, but he can watch the door that I'm sitting in, as well as that kill hole opening between the bomb sites that we have made previously. Now with all this done up, that person's basically watching anyone, freezing anyone in the room, as well as stopping more people from entering. Then the fuse that's upstairs, all he has to do is drop the bombs directly above me, clearing me out, and then that plant can proceed. All you have to do is smoke those 2 entrances, forcing the defenders to run blindly through it, and then making an appearance on the other side, giving the attackers the easy kill on them. Then just holding the bomb site, backing off, waiting for those other defenders to flank. So rewinding it back a little bit, go and kill the Montaigne. Unseen hops out there, dies. I kind of make that peek, seeing if there's anyone else outside that got him. Didn't see anyone, tried to get that sneaky outside peek. Still holding on to this door because I know that's where the diffuser dropped. Expecting people to be coming around the corner, so I just kind of sit in this corner, holding a tight angle as I can. Getting shot from above, expecting someone to repel, so I drop in a pre-fire right above the roof, completely forgetting about this ledge. That guy getting an unlucky shot to the head. There's no way I should have won that firefight. He cooked a grenade at the wrong time, was not expecting me to run out, so that worked out in my favor. More fuse charges inside the room, so I'm just going to edge out my way onto this corner. Maybe he might peek there too, but just mostly to get away from that fuse. Coming out again, see if he might make a view and peek. Also just throwing that detection outside just to throw him off a little bit. Mainly trying to keep an eye on this door because that's where the diffuser is, and that's why I'm not boarding the door up, because I'd like to see or hear when the guy comes in to try to grab that diffuser. Now just sitting and waiting, there's one guy left and a couple of us left alive, and there's no reason to really make some mistakes and get ourselves killed. Twitch nearly get me with the shock drone, just not able to land bullets right on it, and she nearly gets me killed with it. I just panic, shoot off all my bullets on my main gun, switch to my Deeg, and lucky enough I get that kill with the Deeg on that drone, or else I would have definitely died to that drone too. Seen one of my friends go down in the corner there. Instead of just having one side of the corner for a peek, back up a little bit, use the second part of the door frame to create that sandwich, that tighter peek, keeping me a lot safer and a better angle. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know by leaving a like on the video, as well as a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. I love to read comments from you guys. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I have a lot of great content coming out that I wouldn't want you to miss out on. For those of you who want even more, I stream on Twitch every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. My Twitch, again, will be down below. You can go ahead and hit follow on that, and that'll keep you up to date on all my Twitch streams. Well, guys, until next time, I hope you have a great day.